Hello YouTube, I'm back with another Yes review. As some of you may have noticed, I haven't been online making these videos for quite some time. I was in Brockton, Massachusetts. I moved to Reno, Nevada, where my son lives, and I just kind of got caught up in looking for work, doing some freelance writing, etc. And I got behind on this whole project. So let's get back to what we were talking about. Yes. So I've been reviewing these Yes albums in the order in which I discovered them in my mid to late teens. And I believe Close to the Edge was the last one I discussed. But I wanted to take a break from the audio only and discuss this. Yes, 9012 Live. This is the DVD, of course. Back in '85, it came out on VHS, but I was actually introduced to it because of my friend, who was also into Yes at the time. We must have been, well, we've been about 85. Anyways, his dad bought a VCR, which at the time was kind of a big deal. And they also had cable, which I didn't have. So MTV was showing 9012 Live. So he videotaped it, and we must have watched it 20, 30 times. And it was grainy, early days of VHS. The picture was muddy, but it was a chance for us to see Yes in concert, which in this day with YouTube is, just a click away. Back then, you really had to look around to find something. So we watched it a bunch of times. A year or two later, my dad bought a VCR, and I think I was in Sacramento at the time, and I was at a Tower Records, the Tower Records actually on Broadway. That place was just, I spent so much time and money there, it's ridiculous. They had the VHS of 9012 Live. So I picked it up and watched it, and it was much clearer. And that's what this of course, is the DVD version. And so let's just talk about this briefly. So let's talk about the songs. There's an introduction. Now, if you've seen this, you'll either love or hate this aspect of it. There's all this industrial film footage inserted, computer composited actually, into the whole concert. So it starts off with a young a boy and a girl in their teens, and the dad sitting there, and there's this whole discussion of music and so forth. And then it goes into the concert, which has all these cutaways to these industrial film videos. So I'll get back to in a moment. I'll get back to that. So we have kind of the introduction, and then Cinema, the instrumental, and then Leave It, which I can't really tell if it's actually a live version. It sounds like it's a recorded version, and the band plays over it, but I could be wrong. There's definitely some tapes involved because it's such a complex acapella. The acapella sections are so complex. And then they jump into Leave It, Changes, Owner of a Lonely Heart, It Can Happen, City of Love. And I read this completely wrong because after Hold On is I've Seen All Good People. And the final track is Starship Trooper. So this, of course, is a concert from '84. It came out in '85. So this is the Trevor Rabin era when Yes was kind of rejuvenated and came back. So there is definitely a focus on the 90125 material. And if you don't like the 90125 material, I don't think you're going to like this concert. Tony Kaye, of course, is in the band. He's no Rick Wakeman, but he does provide a lot of texture. And I think he provides a good sound for what the band was trying at the time, which was they were stepping away from that excess 70s prog rock excess and moving toward more song-oriented music, probably thanks to Trevor Rabin, who wrote most of the music to these songs. They do perform, like I said, they perform I've Seen All Good People and Starship Trooper. They're both pretty good versions. Do I miss Steve Howe? I suppose I do. Steve Howe was the inspired me to pick up a guitar and play. So he is missed, but Trevor does a fine job, especially on All Good People, which had aside from the acoustic first half, is really just a jam song. Starship Trooper is a much more metal sounding song than it used to be. Not that it's just full-blown heavy metal, but Raven's tone toward the end just gets crazy. So it's a good concert. The band's in good form. They seem very enthused. You may have to forgive their fashion sense at the time, which has a very 80s look with the big feathered hair and the crazy costumes and so forth. And then as a bonus features, there's a director's cut on here of the movie. The director's cut cuts out most of the industrial footage that was computer composited into the film. Some of it that couldn't be taken out. But I prefer watching it that way. But for nostalgia reasons, I also like watching the version with the industrial film footage. There's some interviews with the band from back at the time. And then there's a bonus track, which was cut out of the original film of Roundabout, which is a pretty good version. It just, boom, starts into Roundabout. Anyways, the band's in fine form. The picture quality on the DVD is pretty good. This was a fairly expensive concert video at its time. It's pretty slick looking. The soundtrack is 2-channel. I guess the original tapes don't exist, or they can't find them, of the audio, so it has to be in stereo, and it's not remixed. That said, it sounds pretty good, so I can't really complain. So if you enjoy the Trevor Rabin era, or you want just to see a version of Yes that was quite a bit different than what we're used to now, definitely worth checking out. I still enjoy the concert. I enjoy the Trevor Rabin era of Yes, and I think fans should revisit it simply because fans seem so accepting now of changes in even singer, whereas drama, people just had a cow over John Anderson not being in Yes, but now it's a given. And with the sad death of Chris Squire a few months ago, we see Billy Sherwood taking over, and of course he has been involved with Yes over the years. So I think it's a band that ultimately can just keep evolving and changing. If Steve Howe left the band, could it survive without Steve Howe, somebody new coming in? I think so. I think that's the kind of band Yes is. So give Trevor Rabin another listen if you don't like him. I think he brought in a really strong sense of songwriting that the band was it had lacked for a while. So thumbs up from me. I enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the concert. Hope you enjoy the video. I didn't mean to talk for 8 minutes. I try to keep these about 5, and now I'm just rambling on endlessly. I'll be back with Relayer next. Thanks.